Ni hao, I'm Maejor, here with TMS Live.
Hello, everyone. My name is Radio. This is my partner, Wen.
Hi, everyone.
Here, and we are here at the Montreux Festival here in Suzhou, China, and we are joined by Maejor.
Thank you for having me, Radio and Win.
We are very, very happy to have you. So tell us about your trip so far. You've been here in China.
Wow, it's been amazing. China is such a vibrant place full of amazing energy, people, food, culture, music. I feel like I'm in heaven.
So this is, we just watched your second, I wouldn't call it necessarily a performance, more like a demonstration or maybe like
Experience.
an experience for sure. So can you tell us a little bit about this kind of frequency lecture, I guess is more like it.
Yeah. So what we started doing was I started to share a bit of my story, a bit of the things that I learned along the journey as a cancer survivor. And I started to get introduced to all different forms of wellness. And the things that I really resonated with were related to sound. So things from the science and spiritual community. So I'll play some of the sounds, let you hear it, get what they call a sound bath. And then go into talking a little bit about my experiences, people I work with, places I've gone. And it was something that we started mostly in the wellness in the workplace spaces. We did something at the World Economic Forum in Davos, GITEX conference in Dubai, all of these type of business things. So we decided to try it out, something different here at the Jazz Festival. But I just thought it would be a contrast for, you hear a lot of electronic music, a lot of high energy music or rock music. So I thought it would be a good moment for people to reflect and get a sense of peace. I know people have been, even for the staff, a lot of people are just working so crazy they never get a moment to just sit down and be at peace. So that was the intention.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel like the audience is reacting to it? Because I know a lot of people might have been expecting like some pop, hip hop set or Justin Bieber guest starring. So how's it been the reaction with some of the Chinese?
Well, I mean, everyone's coming up to me and saying that they were feeling really like they needed it. It was helping them to relax. It was helping them. So I'm sure that, from the people I talked to, it seemed like they resonated well. And I'm sure for some people, it may be like a little bit far out. Like when I share it with some people just in general, some people they're like, is this stuff real? What is he talking about? So I can only imagine that would happen there. But for even those people, I look at it like they say you don't eat the fruit the day you plant the seed. So I look at it like we planted a seed and maybe like later on they'll be like, oh, maybe there's something to that and it can help them in their life. So that's my intention.
Yeah, and also battling something like cancer is kind of a very traumatic experience. Can you explain it more specifically how the frequency therapy has kind of helped you along this process?
Absolutely. So yes, as you mentioned, when I got diagnosed with cancer, I was like, it kind of threw my whole system off. It was something I was just in my 20s and I'm really getting momentum with the music. And then to get a diagnosis like this was like scary. So for my mind first, I needed, I believe that there's three parts of us, our mind, body, and spirit. So for my mind, I needed something to help me to not be so stressed and not be so anxious, because they say like stress is the top killer of us. When we're stressed, our whole system is working less. It's working less efficiently. So for me, the music helps me with my mind, helps me with the anxiety to be in a state of peace, state of presence. For my body, it helps my brain waves to become more synchronized. It slows down the heart rate in different times when I need that to happen. I can use it I have some energetic pieces that will pump up the heart rate. But for me, mostly, I need to slow down because there's just so much going on. And then from a spirit perspective or soul, helps me to reconnect to myself, remember who I am, why I'm here, and what my intention is. And so those three things together is why the sound healing helped me.
Excellent. As far as the frequencies are concerned, how do you choose the different frequencies? How do you know which ones do what? And in this kind of area of study, you've obviously delved into it a little bit more than the rest of us. So
yeah,
I would love to know a little bit more about the specific frequencies that and what they do.
Absolutely. So when I first started learning about different frequencies, one of the things that piqued my interest was binaural beats, which are specific frequencies that change your brain waves measurably. And that was something that was really cool for me. It was not really a woo-woo idea or something that was in the sky. You can measure it with an EEG. They play these tones. Your brain waves go from delta, gamma, beta, whatever it was. So once I started to learn that there are specific frequencies that can change your brainwaves, I started to match that with the intention of the desired state. So if you want to get, energy, you would go for the beta. If you want to get someone really relaxed, like which one we did in there, we can use delta, which helps put us close to the sleep state of our brainwaves. So yeah, there's different. I really go for the intention first, and then I look for what frequency matches that intention, whether it's 432, 444. Sometimes it's different modalities. Monk's mantra we put into there. The gong I put in, and some of the ones we heard in there was a gong very low, like minus 60 dB, so very quiet where you can't really hear it, but on a subtle level it's having an effect. So yeah, I start with the intention and then find the frequency after that matches that vibe.
Can you tell us a little bit about your history? I know you graduated in 2008 from University of Michigan.
University of Michigan, yes.
And then you pretty much got started right away working with some of the top artists at the time. What was the experience like going from straight out of college into fast-paced music production? Basically?
Well, it was crazy when I started. When I was in college was when I forgot. So in my dorm I had plaques.
Oh, so you were in college then.
So it was already lit. By that time, I started going to. I would be traveling sometimes on the weekend, going to Atlanta, to Los Angeles, to these different places. So it was cool because I got a bit of a buffer from straight being at home to just going right into the world. But then right after college, I moved down to Atlanta, and I got to start working with Neo, who at the time was producing and writing for Beyonce and Rihanna and all the top. He was an amazing songwriter that helped me to really learn the art of songwriting, and working underneath him really gave me an insight into the industry and how a professional works. Like he was, some people I would see come into the studio and just chill for trying to find a vibe, and they may be drinking, smoking, whatever is going on.
Sure.
Neo was come in, and every day when he would come in, he would write 2 songs, fully recorded, fully written. It's just the level of focus that I saw was a different level, and so I realized why he was at the top. And so that was there's a quote from Michael Jackson that says the best education is watching the masters at work. So I feel like I was lucky and grateful to get that from guys like Neo, from Justin, from all of these artists that are really amazing. They have a certain level of focus, and so I was grateful to be exposed to that right after college.
Oh, that's excellent. I kind of want to talk to you a little bit more about people who have mentored you, and I obviously Neo has been a huge influence. Has there been any particular advice that he's given you that you continue to use even now? Now that you're in frequency therapy, is there something that you continue to keep? Keeping
well, it's interesting with Neo. He never actually said, "I'm going to mentor you, I'm going to teach you anything." But the best thing he did was he didn't kick me out of the studio when he was writing. So I would just sit there in the side and just watch him. And I asked him, "Can I chill while you're?" He said, "Sure." And just that alone, like I said from Michael's quote, watching the masters at work, just me watching him, it said way more than he could have ever told me. It was just his focus, the way that he was really focused. He would write on the paper, I remember, with a pen, so he was sure what he was doing. It was, a lot of people are writing the phone, deleting, editing, copy. He was just with a pen on a sheet of paper, writing the lyrics, next line, next line, next line. So when I saw that, I was like, this is the kind of focus it can take to really, to really be a great, songwriter. And I'm sure everybody has a different process. Of course. Post Malone or someone, for example, I went in the studio with him, and he was just it was a big party going on. But then that reflected in his music because it was a party song.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in there who was saying, there's no work being done, but there was a lot of work being done, as he was getting the vibe, and he was just, all of the energy from the room was coming into the song. So that's what I learned a lot from people, is how the environment can affect the song, how the mood, how the people that you're around. So, and I think that's with everything. Sometimes you have to get the right people around you to get the best result. And sometimes you need to get people away from you to get a good
Yeah.
result. Some people throw the vibe off. Like, I've seen like some artists where like the executives will come into the room and they'll be like suits or like super like just super stiff, and sometimes it could put pressure on the artist. So that's kind of one thing as a producer has to know, like how to get the best performance from the artist. And sometimes that's the people and the environment. So that's what I learned most from guys like Neo and everyone like that.
Oh, that's really great. I'm gonna let Wynn ask a few questions. She had some things
Yes,
she wanted to
please.
ask. It. I'm trying not to step on her toes, so
Okay, thank you.
There we
so
go.
let her ask a few things.
Yeah. So earlier I was at your show, and you mentioned that if you want to do music, you have to know sound first. So I kind of want to know, like, how do you embrace like vulnerability into your into sound and into your music, and probably how does that help you to connect with your audience?
Such a good question. Yes, I used to look at vulnerability as weakness. I didn't understand what it really was, and it's one of the things I learned from Justin. Actually, was when he pours his heart into the music, and when you're open and vulnerable. Like even on the titles of his albums, there will be stuff like "Never Say Never" or "Believe," and for someone who's 17, 19 at the time when he released that, that can be kind of like kind of corny or cheat. What is this he's doing? This is vulnerable. This is not cool. This is not edgy. But he went way past everyone else, in terms of success. And so what I learned was when you're authentically yourself, and that includes being vulnerable, then you can resonate with people and connect with them in a deeper way. So I actually have a song called "I Love You" with this artist called Gracie, and it was the first song that's using these sound healing frequencies to be ever certified gold status. And it was originally a song that I wrote, and it sounds very soft and like lovey and kind of vulnerable, and I was nervous of the song at first, but my label heard it and they said we love this song, and I'm grateful that I was faced the vulnerability, because now it's one of has millions of plays and it's all become a success, but it's all due to the vulnerability. So now I would encourage anyone who's out there thinking about music to lean into that, because whatever you're feeling as true will resonate with someone else out there. If it's a true experience from a true place in your heart and in your life, then there's someone out there who's feeling something similar. Where we make a mistake is when we try to write something that we think someone will like, or like try to crack a code and show off exactly. And then it's like, it's cool, but the things that really hit people are vulnerable and real.
Real.
So that's a really good question, yeah.
That is so good. Damn. Okay. Thank you. So I have also this one, like in China, like a lot of Chinese people will listen to different sound to help them like go to sleep or calm down, kind of like birds chirping or water sound or rain. Like me personally, I will listening to like rain and to go to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there any frequencies or sound you feel like would kind of like Chinese people would enjoy? Or not even Chinese, just like
enjoy.
people. Yeah.
Yes. So for me, peace and joy, the sounds that represent that are birds. When I hear this, because birds are only like chirping when it's a peaceful environment. So that's like, it's like a little stimulus to the brain to like, okay, I can breathe, I can relax. You hear the birds, you're like, okay, it's a peaceful environment. If there's banging and shooting and going on, you won't hear any birds chirping. So that's kind of like one of those hacks. And what you said about rain and water, I definitely use that in the sleep track. I used a lot of water sounds because, as you said, I noticed there are people who will play hours long of just sleep. So I tried to merge this with the brainwave frequency for delta, giving some type of doubling the effect. So the nature sounds plus the synthesized sounds to give an even deeper feeling of relaxation. And then as well, for another one for joy, for me personally, one that represents joy is the beach. The beach sounds, cause like you go to the beach and then you see everyone's happy. There's children running around. There's the waves. It's just a positive place. So for me, that joy represents the beach. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And how, like, if you're not doing music or not like sound related, what do you think you would like doing right
Yeah,
now?
what would be your profession? You like a chef or a pilot or something? What would you?
Well, chef is a good one because I read the book of Quincy Jones. His autobiography talks about how he compares music to cooking, the layers, the flavors, the textures.
cook, let 'em
right?
cook,
Let
keep
them
going.
cook. You know. So I think chef is a good one, but to be honest, I didn't know. I had no idea what I was gonna do. Even when I started college, I had no idea. I think
What
music
did you
was.
major in, by the way?
I majored in communication, and I have no idea what to do with this. I'm thankful that I took off with the music because I don't know what to even like. It just was going fast with the music. I was into sports and athletics. I liked that a lot, so I don't know if I would have been professional, but yeah, it's hard to really think because, like I said, I got going when I was like 17, 18, 19 into the music industry. And my mom is Jamaican. She was like, "Man, I know about music business. You must finish college." She wanted me to finish the school because, the music was like so uncertain.
Yeah.
But you did graduate, so
I did graduate. I did that
listened
for
to your
her.
mom,
I told
yeah.
you, only for mom. Oh, she was the only one, and I was like wanting to drop out. I'm like, "Mom,
I'm making money already.
more than the teachers. Like, what am I doing here?" But she's like, finish. And so I'm grateful I did because it's also, like I said, it was a good time for me to have a buffer between, high school and then going right into the real world. So I got to learn how to deal with people of different cultures, different everything. So yeah, I think the good thing is like there's that speech from Steve Jobs. If you haven't seen it, check this out. If anyone is, it's Stanford commencement speech, and he talks about how you can connect the dots only looking backwards. So looking backwards, I see that period was needed for me to grow, not necessarily in my music, but in my just relationships and communicating with people. Because part of the music business is your music, but part of it is also how you interact with people. It's a business, and there's a lot of people. In order for a song to get to millions of plays, there's so many people that have to be in your corner, from label to the radio to the DSPs to your management, and so if you don't have good people skills, it can be really challenging unless you're just like a musical prodigy. And then even still, I see that often. And there's people I'm sure you've seen who are talented, really talented, maybe even more talented than superstars.
But they burn the bridges because
bridges.
they can't communicate well. They're rude. They're rude to the guests, rude to the sound people.
Exactly.
And
it
doesn't fly.
It won't fly. No,
Yeah.
it have to have the right. Everything has to be right. It's almost like an artist is almost like a CEO of a company, right? Because they have their management, they have their staff, they have their teams, and everyone has to be pushing you and wanting you to win. And when that stops going away, wanting you to win, and when that goes away, then that's when you see artists go
Well,
down.
the interesting thing is let's say if you weren't in the music scene, you kind of would have gone through a similar journey because you would probably still have gotten sick, right?
Yeah.
And perhaps you would have ended up in the same place,
Who knows? Yeah, for sure. And maybe it would have been more from a science perspective. Maybe it would have been from a spiritual. Maybe I'd been a shaman. Maybe
Yeah.
I'd have been, maybe I'd have been in the Amazon somewhere. But for sure, I think everything, it all connects.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, last question. Thank you. Because I prepared one to ask your advice for new beginners wants to get learn more about music and frequencies and sound
Yes.
music
So
therapist.
incorporating
Yeah,
frequency
but
healing.
you actually kind of reply give me the answer earlier in the
Yes. And also just another thing, it's it sounds like a little bit of promotion, but I made a series about this called Maejor Frequency. And each episode, it's on Audible, Amazon Audible. Each
it's
episode,
your podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Each episode talks with different people about different ways that they use it. So some of them are scientists dealing with it. Some of them are shamans. Some of them one of them is Drake's producer talking about which frequencies makes the hips move of the ladies in the club, So there's different, so that series is kind of one. And then for you, radio. I was mentioned earlier, but I'll mention here. One thing that I thought was cool was there's this quote from Nikola Tesla, and he says that I used to think that he says I see my brain as a receiver, and so that's cool. Almost we tune into what we want to see, and what we want to do is he believed that the thoughts were not coming from his brain, but were coming into, and I believe that could be true as well. What we tune into, what we're looking for, we see more of. If I ask you today, How many red cars have you seen? You're like, I don't know. But if this morning I tell you you get $1 million every red car you see, right now you'll be like 213. You know, you
Yeah.
know the exact thing. So
Yeah.
it's like what we tune in, what we're looking for is what we can find and what we can see. So if you're looking for these things, you will find it for sure. So
Can you tell us about the Frequency School? Frequency.school.
absolutely. Yes, the Frequency School is something that I'm very excited about. This is a program that we started. We launched at Eglon College in Switzerland, but we will go to many schools around the world, and it's a mind, body, and spirit program that teaches things that we wish we learned in school. So for me, I learned a lot of memorization and a lot of facts, but I wish I learned things like meditation, like frequency, like sound, like production, like emotional intelligence, personal finance, all of these things that I wasn't taught in school. So the Frequency School is an evolution of the system, just updating it to the system. Education system can seem a bit antiquated and a bit old. So I just wanted to give it a new spin, a new approach, and be able to teach people about sound, about frequency, and about wellness.
Oh, that's excellent. So can you tell us the website and
Yes.
where we can find some plug? Do your plugs.
Frequency.school. Frequency.school is the website. We're on socials at The Frequency School. And yes, please keep updated. Anyone who's watching this, who's involved in education, who would like us to connect, please reach out to us. We're looking to expand this everywhere. And this is a real passion project. It's something that I thought I would do when I was 60, 70 years old. But the cancer and things like that, the positive part is like a yin and yang. The positive is it makes you focus on what you can do right now. Which is amazing because now we're doing it, So it's like everything, going back to the Steve Jobs things, you can connect the dots looking backwards. I was thinking, when I'm 60 or 70, I'll do what I'm doing. But now it's happening now. And so without me going through the cancer experience, I don't know if it would be happening right now. So that's why it's like everything you can look at it is happening to you or for you. And so, we just look at it as for you.
And the thing is, the fact that you're doing it now means that you get to help people now. It's not like if you're waiting, 20 more years, that's 20 years of people not being helped in the way that you can provide this kind of education and this kind of method for it's kind of its own version of meditation, sound meditation. What I think is really brilliant. And after seeing your performance or seeing your lecture, I should say, we're really excited to learn more and something that we're gonna actually probably tune into ourselves. So
amazing. And I like what you said there about because even if one person gets affected by that, it's like what we said earlier, it's like a ripple. So that person can affect everyone in their community, in their neighborhood, and then now who knows who they'll affect and who knows who they'll affect. So you're right, I'm grateful to start now rather than 20 years later.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we're really happy you took the time to give us the interview.
Are you
and
kidding?
like any other plugs you want to Instagram, YouTube, any other plugs you want to plug?
At Maejor, Maejor. Just type in Maejor on Instagram, YouTube, and
or anywhere on the internet. Actually, this guy
Maejor.
He has a bunch of stuff.
Maejor. Yes, type me in. Yes,
you can just search Lolly. You'll be great.
There we go. There we go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah.